All right, guys, I've finally done it. Took a long time because this is the first time they've ever retroed, but this is 2 of the 3 of the pre-Kobe's, like before signatures. This is what he was wearing, but there was a third one, and they're right here. Yo, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these bad boys right here. This is the Adidas Top 10 2010. I believe this is back for the first time. I could be wrong. I don't remember these retroing before, but either way, they're here now. I'm happy to have them. This was actually Kobe's first shoe that he wore when he directly entered the league. He got drafted, played the 1996-97 season. He wore these first, even though he didn't wear them a lot, just because somebody over there was a and kept benching the kid, which I guess is not normal for back then to do that to rookies, especially when they were 18. But still, he wore these along with a black colorway, both of which have released overseas already. They have not released yet in the States, but you guys know me by now. I'm not waiting for that. And if you want to be like me and grab your pair right now, head over to ID for Shoes over at eBay. They have this colorway available currently. The shipping is super fast as well, so as soon as you grab them, they should be at your door fairly quickly. But anyways, after he wore these bad boys right here, he was also known for wearing these. This is the Adidas Top 10 2000. Again, this is the Top 10 2010. And then this is the Elevation, all of which are part of the EQT line, which is the Adidas equipment line, which is Adidas's performance line, or was. I don't know if they still use that lingo anymore, but basically back in the 90s, you would have 2 logos for Adidas. I do believe they still do this, where this logo right here, the 3 stripes that most of us are accustomed to seeing by now, this was their performance logo, whereas the Trefoil logo was their classic logo, so those were not performance shoes. But anyways, in the mid 90s, they had this line, and to me, this is really special. This is like the earliest shoes that this dude wore, and broke ankles, got buckets, became the youngest all-star, won the dunk contest, not in this colorway, but still in this shoe. It's really cool, man. To me, this is sneaker history, and I just love it. But anyways, this is the Top 10 2010. I do think the name is weird, especially because they came out in the mid 90s. It's like, what the hell were you guys doing? You guys are way the hell off. So yeah, that's strange. But either way, this was kind of like their whole feet you wear basketball line, their initial one. They had used feet you wear in multiple different categories already for performance footwear, and this was part of their basketball line. So you can see right here, the outsole, obviously, feet you wear. Got that dude right there on the insole pretty prominently as well. This is the first insole that I've seen from Adidas that isn't just complete. Even though this is not a great insole or anything, but it's not their usual like piece of junk that they normally have in there. But the outsole itself looks awesome. Would I play in this nowadays? Probably not. They're not the most comfortable. I've never found feet you wear to be very comfortable. If I was gonna play in either of the 3, it would be this one, just because it's more flat. It's not bubbly like this. Like, I broke my foot back in high school, and so the big toe or whatever that knuckle joint is, that first metatarsal, like right where it hits your toes, this always it up hardcore because my feet are not shaped like that anymore. So this one would probably do the same. But again, I played in at least those 2, and these are my favorite between them. But I do think that the outsole is interesting. Definitely bottom heavy. You can totally feel it. We've talked about this before, but reducing rubber means reducing weight, except for in this instance, because they did reduce a lot of rubber. Basically, these black pods and then this white toe right here, that's the only rubber on the outsole. Everything else is part of the midsole.
I would argue that they didn't reduce the rubber, they just clumped it. It's like, instead of carving it out, they moved it into little balls.
I would agree if I knew what the thickness was, because I don't. For all we know, we can peel these off and they're ultra thin, and I'd be like, whoa, that's weird. You know what I mean? But I really don't know, so I wouldn't say one or the other. All I know is that there is a lot of rubber not on here, but where it is, almost to your point, it feels heavy and it feels clunky. Just not ideal for today's game, but look at these. These are cool. One of the things that I thought is really interesting is, 1, the herringbones at the heel and toe, so I thought that was kind of neat. 2, they have suction pods. Like, those are weird as not that we haven't seen this on shoes before and shoes after, but to see them every time, I'm always just surprised and amazed. So yeah, so I think that that's really dope. This does feel like it could play well outdoors as far as durability is concerned. Like, to your point, I do feel like the rubber might be thick, but without actually peeling it off and measuring it, I don't want to say one way or the other. And then the midsole is EVA, but in the heel, there's actually an adiprene crash pad. So that's one of the things that I think is interesting, is right here at the toe, it says adiprene, which leads someone to believe believe that the whole midsole is adiprene, which is not. The adiprene is only in the heel. It's a little puck, kind of like what you would see with Pebax pucks and stuff like that. Or if you go to like the series player only shoe, where you take out that midsole and then there's those little pods underneath the tooling or the removable drop-in. That's basically kind of what's in here. There's also a torsion bar that's in there, and it's very stiff and very rigid. That was one of the things that I was actually really surprised with, is like this shoe, and this is not rubber, and I still can't flex it. Like, it's weird. It's a stiff son of a, that's for sure. One of the highlights though is this leather rand right there. That's the bottom layer of the material, or the first layer of the material. It's quite thick. It looks really good. It feels really good. It smells really good too. Like, it smells like straight cows. It's awesome. So I really like that. I'm really surprised too, because back in this era of Adidas basketball, they were known to use a lot of synthetics. Both of the other two models that I just showed use primarily synthetics. So to see leather on one of these things, I think is cool. However, the rest of the shoe is all synthetic. So this tinfoil-y looking material, I don't love that, but it's part of the original shoe, so I don't mind it. The rest of the base is actually lightweight mesh, which I think is really interesting, because it's around the time frame of the Air Jordan 11s and stuff like that, even though these are a little bit after, but still very interesting that they use that, you know, combination of leather, meshes, synthetics, all that stuff. The tongue is really interesting because it is stiff too, man. Like, this thing pushes right into my ankle and everything. Don't love that. Although I think that it's because of this giant ass patch of the logo. If that wasn't there, if it was just the embroidered Adidas branding on there, then I think that it would have been a little bit softer. But one of the coolest things is the lacing area. So basically you've got the 3 stripes noted in there, but each of these things are kind of like showing you where it's drawing your foot down into the footbed. These top ones right here go all the way to the back, that little X strap. They ended up using this system on his first actual signature shoe, which was the Adidas KB8, now known as the Crazy 8. So one quick look at the shoe, and which is also supposed to be coming back. And then obviously you've got that Feet You Wear guy right in the back there. I think he looks really dope. I think it's cool. One thing to note though is the sizing. The sizing is slightly weird. So this is, I guess, back to Adidas's old ways, where they feel a little bit long. So I think most people might want to go down half a size in these. Wide footers, you might want to try them on just to be sure whenever they become available. Again, I don't know when they release in the States. I just know that they're available overseas, and so that's where I was able to cop these. I think it would be really cool is if there was a museum, which I know that there's not, but just a section for Kobe with every shoe that he wore, because this dude got buckets in all of these, man. It's wild, you know what I mean? Like, I just really can't imagine playing in these nowadays, even though I played in those two. I played in his KB line, I played in the Kobe line, which was the car shoes. We did it all on the channel, all of the retros we've done, so I didn't have any of these shoes as a kid. I always wanted them. I finally was able to fulfill my dream by making a YouTube channel and getting it monetized somehow, you know, 14 years ago. I don't wish that I could play in these though, just because they are stiff. They just look really cool. But with all that being said, sound off below and let us know. Again, this is the first shoe that Kobe wore in the league as a rookie. I think that's really cool. Maybe they'll do some tribute colorways, who knows? But sound off below and let us know what you think about them down below in the comment section. Rank the 3 if you'd like, and until next time guys, we will catch you on the next one. I did my whole sign off backwards. That sucks.